Oh my God! The Uno Reverso. Let's get it on. Oh my God. Get it? Says it's clocking to them that they're standing on business.
Hi, can I order tea and 2 sugars, please?
Hello guys and welcome back to Tea and 2 Sugars. I'm Tatty, your host, who is full of cold today. I am poorly sick, unfortunately. I don't know if I've had COVID or what, but my body does not feel good. My voice does not sound good. I kind of actually do enjoy like the little raspy sexiness of the voice. However, what's not cute is the nasalness. I'm so sorry. If there was any other opportunity for me to film this podcast, I would take it. So just for this week, I'm sounding like Phoebe Buffay when she has that sexy cold voice. But I'm doing all right. Doing all right. The body aches that I had the other day was not fun. No. I woke up in the night. My skin was on fire. It was not a good time, my dudes. It was not a good time. I've had a busy week. I've been a busy man this week, guys. We had the engagement party on Saturday, first of all, which was just so good. I think I said it in the last episode, but I was like, right, phone is going to be on Do Not Disturb all day. I'm going to just go to the gym, get my hair done, then I'm going to get ready and nobody is going to talk to me all day long. That plan absolutely fucking failed. From the moment I opened my eyes in the morning, I beg, guess what time? 5 a.m. Because I had the most excruciating trapped nerve in my traps. I thought it was in my shoulder blade, then I thought it was in my neck, but I actually think it was probably somewhere in my traps. I genuinely could not move my shoulder or my right side of my body. I was in fucking agony. That was the worst trap nerve I've ever had, and I get them quite often. I was on TikTok at 5:30 texting my PT Meg. I was like, Meg, what the fuck am I doing? I was supposed to go to the class in the morning. It was supposed to set me up for the day, but I didn't know what to do. Anyway, for any of my trap nerve girlies, I found this stretch. Basically, whichever shoulder is giving you the ag, give yourself a hug and put that arm underneath, and then you want to lean forward and pull your shoulder away and dig it, and then lean forward onto your knee. Hold it for 30 seconds. Oh my God, it was I could feel something moving whilst I was doing it. It was really good. And then I learned about this thing called nerve. God, what was it called? Nerve threading? Let me see. Nerve flossing. Basically, I don't know what it is, but really simple. For trapped nerves in your neck, which is where I eventually loosened the one in my shoulder, and then I just had my neck to deal with, which I was fine with my neck because I'd got cracking posture. I was like, Yaz off Love Island. Basically, I had my arm out like this, and I'd flex my arm. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I'd flex my palm of my hand, and whenever I'd flex it, something would crack in or pop in the base of my skull, where the trapped nerve was, where the pain was. And it said to just do that for a couple of reps every few minutes. And there was another one where you thread your arm through this. I don't know what it did, but it worked, my guys. And I have never ever found anything home remedy wise that could help release a trapped nerve. I've always had to go for Thai massages or sports massages to release them. I also lay on my heated blanket, which really helped. Anyway, so that was my morning. Went to have my hair done. It was fine. Then my phone just consistently rang for the next 3.5 hours, and I had no time to myself. I was just getting ready on the phone to people. However, one positive of the getting ready process, I realised that actually I do think I am capable of doing my own makeup for the wedding, which has really put my mind at ease. I used a really, really good combination of products. I'm going to do a get ready with me on it. I might actually film that tomorrow. I put my Milk Hydro Grip on with a brush, And this is a tip I learned years ago from a celebrity makeup artist. If you have oily skin, which I do, applying products with a brush it has no heat in it, like your fingers do. So it's not going to activate your sebaceous glands, which is what produces oil. So I was putting on with a brush. I think I started my makeup at 3:15 and I finished at 6. And I took that full 2 hours, 45 minutes getting ready. My makeup has not lasted like that ever. I think it was the combination of really taking the time to press the products in. I mixed the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk and the Huda Beauty Easy Blur Skin Tint Foundation. So nice, guys. So nice. 10/10 recommend. And then the night was so nice. So we had the surprise singers. The cake was amazing. Like all my favourite people in one room. Jordan looked incredible. I felt really nice. And yeah, it was just really lovely. And then it was my birthday on Monday. And it was, I was like, I'm not really going to do much this year for my birthday because we'd had the party. So Grace and I, we had 2 events in the day. So we had Pilates with Ula Hendrickson to celebrate their new Pump Up Your Peach range, peach collection in the morning. And then we went into Manchester, did a bit of shopping, had some lunch. And then we went for a dinner with Skin and Me in the evening, which was also really, really nice. And that's about it. Oh, Jesus, guys. Let's go on to our boiling point in 2 sugars to start today's episode because my boiling point was my day yesterday. First of all, my 2 sugars. Let's start off with a real posy vibe here. My 2 sugars. I think I don't know if I've had this one before. Not me getting teary. I feel so blessed for the women I have in my life at the minute. Like, I've spoke quite openly before about how I've struggled with friendships. And when you go through these big seasons of life, your friends step up for you. And like having my girlies around me, I have never ever had this many fantastic friends before. And I feel like I need them now more than ever. And they're showing me that I'm deserving of friends. You know, when you go through like a couple of friendship breakups, you start to think like, God, am I the issue? And then to be friends with like-minded girlies, like, and I don't just mean like my friends from social media that you all know, like my best friends, Sophia. I have never met someone like Sophia. Oh God, she's going to listen to this. Sophia, shut up. I can hear you already. There is no one in my life like Sophia. And there's no one in my life like Grace, Mill, Amelia, Josie, Alicia, Shan. Like, no one in my life like those girlies. They just mean the absolute world to me. They remind me every day that I'm not a bad person. I deserve nice things, and they're there for me when I need them. We all gas each other up. They just make me feel like a good person, and like I'm doing good things. And I don't need to feel guilty for things, and I'm deserving of people showing up for me because I don't know if I should probably look into this. I don't know if it's like an avoidant person, like, you know, like an attachment style. I just don't feel like I deserve what I give to other people, if that makes sense. When I do, and I said this in last week's episode, like, why do I feel guilty for asking for the same treatment that I give to others? What the fuck? Like, is that a self-worth thing? And I'm just really grateful for them. They're just fantastic, and they're such easy friends. They're so low maintenance, but at the same time, I know that I could ring them at any time with any issue, wherever I was in the world. If I needed them, they'd pick up, or if they'd come and help me. Like, I'm just really, really grateful for these people. And then my second sugar, we have some new jelly friends. I've brought them with me today. Isla was like, why have you bought them? It's like, I wanted to show my friends. First of all, there is this little guy. He's a ring. She's a ring. This is a lady. This is defo a lady friend. Do you have a name? Oh, I don't think she has a name. But this was from Elle James. And I'm fucking obsessed with her. I really hope... Does she have a name? I'm really sad. Suitable from birth. Cool. She sits basically on top of my bed next to my pain au chocolat. And I think that is the nicest little present for your friend that's in her fiancé era. Obviously, we have Joseph, the OG. Joe and I are going on an adventure next week. And I think I said last week that I could tell you about it this week when I can't. I got my dates mixed up. And then, guys, look who it is. It's Godfrey. It's Godfrey whale shark. I was literally saying how I wanted a Godfrey. I love him with my whole heart. He's so soft. I love the mixture and textures, the corduroy and the softness. Sophia got me a Godfrey. She actually bought him a few weeks ago. She's had him for a while apparently. And she rang Jordan. She was like, just so you know, I've got Tatty a Godfrey. Apparently she said they were really hard to find. And they're not going to be fixtures on the podcast, but because they are my sugars, I just wanted to bring them today. And Godfrey's going to sit here. He's my emotional support whale. And I love him. He's such a nice size. I really want to get him a dog, a toy poodle, if you wish. And I just want a little friend this size, you know, to sit with and be friends with me in my lonely times. Anyway, my boiling point. Yesterday, I don't know if, when did we start calling our siblings, partners, brother-in-laws? Like, the fuck? My sister's boyfriend, Noah, is in a show in London at the minute called, it's Noughts and Crosses. And it was at the Open Air Theatre in Regent's Park. Now, I was convinced the show was on till mid-August, so I thought I'd got plenty of time to book my tickets. Anyway, I realised on Sunday, God, I need to go see Noah's show because it finishes on Saturday. So Sophia and I went down to London yesterday. The day started with our train being cancelled. That was the first bad omen. Apparently there was like something wrong on the train. Fine. So we went to a different train station, got on the train, no dramas. We step off the train. The one time in this, 3 weeks of glorious weather, it's raining. The fuck? And it's spitting, it goes off. Anyway, we get 15 minutes into the performance. Noah's doing exceptionally well. Stage manager walks on stage. We're just going to postpone the show because the rain's really bad, which, you know, it was bad. I'll give them that. However, I wanted to see my brother-in-law in a show and I'm upset that I couldn't. And then anyway, the show got cancelled. But then the problem is that Sophia and I, we like to walk around London and we like to do a little shop, and we were already a little bit soggy and we just looked at each other like, we should go home. So we went down to London. We sat and watched Noah for 15 minutes and then we went back home. We got some Marks and Spencer's cookies. Went back home and then we had a Chinese. So, you know, Ethan treating us to a Chinese really did turn the day around. We watched Love Island. This is going to come out next Tuesday. Today is Thursday. It was the Grafties, the first episode of Grafties last night. Helena, my hun, if you ever see this, for whatever reason, I'm going to need you to know that that boy does not like you. That boy doesn't like you. I feel like you're starting to realise that. And I don't know what is going on for you, but have some self-respect. From one girly to another. Please understand your value and your worth. You're an attractive girl. Please, you are not dumb. Have some intelligence, girl. You deserve so much better. And this, I don't know if it's this man is making you think that this is okay. It's not. And I will be, if you spin this round in the next week, you'll get my vote for the final, because I think that's such a good message to women that even if, you know, you've been treated like a mug or whatnot, you hold the power to turn shit round. Anyway, that goes to all women out there. Chin chin. In the cup today, we have a Pepsi Max. I'm very much going to enjoy this one ahead of this episode. Chin chin. First sip, best sip. Clink. Let's get on to our first story, my dudes. This one is my worst fucking nightmare. I found out that my husband has been sleeping with our child's babysitter. Story time. Hi, Tatty. Before I get into this, I just want to say I am so in love with your podcast. I watch it every Wednesday without fail, and I have been watching you since your makeup stories on TikTok. Congratulations on the proposal. I wish you all the best. Thanks, girl. I feel like we're best friends already. Anyway, I'll get on with my story. I'm 31 and my husband, Steve, is 35. I met him whilst I was on holiday abroad in Tenerife. It was like something out of a movie. I was in a club with my friend and so was he. We bumped into each other while going to grab a drink and he said he had been watching me throughout this whole time and that I'd been with my friends. Stephen, are you a stalker? Steve said out of everyone, I was the one that caught his eye and he just didn't know how to say hello to me yet. We started chatting for a bit and one thing went to another, and you know how it is when you're drunk on holiday, you get the jazz. Oh, wow. July 17th. What a night. So, forward to 3 years later, it's now 2019. Steve proposes to me, and of course, I say yes. I felt like my whole world had stopped, and it was just me and him. It was the most perfect proposal ever. It was, oh my God, get it, sis. Where's my ring? It was an $11,000 ring. Yes, sis. Fucking get it. £11,000 ring with the most perfect gold band around it and a diamond was oval shaped. He proposed to me in Italy because he knew it was where I always wanted to go and try the food. My favourite food is spaghetti and pasta. I really thought that Steve was my dream guy. We got married a year later in 2020, but because of COVID, it was such a small wedding. Nothing like I'd ever planned, but of course, I was super happy because it was with my soulmate. Or so I thought. At the end of 2021, we had to go back to work. I'm a lawyer. Yeah, educated. Fucking educated, sis. I love it. I love it. And Steve works as a mechanic. I fell pregnant in May 2022. It was our little boy. And at the start of Feb 2023, I went on maternity leave and Steve was still working to provide for us. Our baby boy was born in March. And his first birthday, I decided I'm going to go back to work and we'll get a babysitter. So Tatty, you will never believe this. Steve says he's been looking for... Steve says that he's been looking for someone, shows me this young girl. She looks like she could be good. She's around 19, 21, I'd say. We tell her to come over and my boy really gets on with her. We tell her she's hired and she comes over for the next few weeks to watch our baby. So I have my husband on Life 360 and all of a sudden he started coming home from work early, which I thought was a bit shady. Usually I'd get home early from the office, but he would be home around 1ish, which would be weird because he started at 9. What the fuck are you doing, Steve? I was at work till 7:30 till 6 p.m, long hours. The babysitter would leave as soon as I got home, but never left when my husband was at work. Right, so you're like, this is interesting because as soon as one parent gets home, you'd think, right, I'm clocked off. But she's sat chilling round with Steve. What do you think of that, Godfrey? Exactly. Suspicious. She goes on to say, I started finding this a little suspicious. So, you might find me crazy. Never. Me, Godfrey, my little engagement ring and Joe, we would never find you crazy, sis. But I put cameras in picture frames around the house. I would frequently watch them at work. This is a dangerous game you're playing, my sis. The first time I caught him touching the babysitter in the kitchen, it felt like a knife running down my throat. Every day I went home and acted normal until I got enough evidence to divorce him and take everything. Me and my baby boy are now living happily ever after in our new home. It's just recently been his 3rd birthday and he doesn't speak about his dad at all. Do you think I should have reacted more? First of all, the fuck is wrong with people? Like, oh, girls. Normally, I'd say the girl hasn't done anything wrong here, but she damn well knew what she was doing. It's not like she was just meeting this guy in the pub or whatever. She was hired. Not only was she taking your money, she was taking your man, and you've been played for a mug there, my hon. So I think you handled yourself very, very well, very maturely. What else would I have done? I hope you took him for all he's worth. 19 or 20. Fucking hell. Find a girl your own age. Actually, Steve, don't. You've got a whole fucking wife. Babysitter should find someone her own age. This is the thing, guys. People just get caught up in these fantasies and these, like, weird, scandalous things. It's very evident to me that there's a lot of insecurity going on in this situation. I think from the fact that your son does not talk about his dad, it's very clear that maybe daddy doesn't have it. Oh, God, that was awful. Dad does not have a role in your son's life anymore. And that's something you'll have to navigate going through life. As you go on, like, will Steve want to be a part of baby Steve's life growing up? That'll be a difficult one. However, I'm really proud of you for leaving, because a lot of people think, God, I'll just stay in this situation. You know, it'll be better for the child. However, sometimes it is better to split up, because you're going to have so much resentment to Steve that I don't know how people get past that. A babysitter, an employee to the household. Bizarre. It's icky. It's disgusting. These boys, I'm calling them boys. What did you think? Like, what are you thinking, Steve? You've got a hot-ass wife with a brilliant job. I wonder, I don't know how much mechanics make. I wonder if Steve was feeling a little insecure because he's with a successful woman like yourself. Tough times. And sometimes men, listen, they have this built-in thing that they want to be in control and have power, and he felt like he didn't have that in the relationship with you, so he's taking the mick out of this babysitter. I hope that you left her an awful review on whatever website you found her on. Maybe it'd be worth putting something on the local Facebook group. I don't know. I'd love to know, are they still together? Was it like a relationship thing, or was it just like a sexual thing? Either way, fucking diabolical. But I think you need to put something out there to the local community about this girl. It's not ideal behaviour. And to all the young babysitters, to all the young girls out there that are getting with these older married men, have some self-respect, okay? Have some self-respect. It's not big, it's not cool, and it doesn't make you better than the other woman. It makes you worse, okay? Because you've pulled that family apart. Hope you're happy with yourself. Cheers to that. Wish you all the best in the future, my hon. Love you. Okay, these are the titles that I absolutely live for. It's a bit of a lengthy one, but stick with it. He cheated on me with my sister, so I cheated on him with his brother, and now I'm pregnant with his brother's baby. Story time. This is what I call a revenge plot. My ex-husband, who we'll call Steve, and I were married for a year, but had been together for 4 years in total. Our marriage was absolutely great, or so I thought. We had our honeymoon in Santorini after our wedding, which was quite large, with people from both our extended families having attended as well. About 6 months into our marriage, Steve was pressuring me for a baby. I'm not a fan of that. He was saying, and I quote, this is horrific wording. This is absolutely horrific wording. I can't wait to see you plump and doing when you're carrying my child in a few months. I can't wait to see you plump and doing when you're... Does he mean doing? He wants to fuck you when you're pregnant? Plump. I can't wait to see you when you're plump. Let's just take a minute for that. That's horrific. This, of course, freaked me out, and he continued with it until eventually I snapped. One night we had a huge argument and Steve went to sleep at one of his friends' houses. Also, I thought, it didn't take long for me to realise that something was completely off in this situation. A week after our fight was my cousin's wedding. Steve was acting really, really strange around me and especially weird around my sister, who we will call Amy. Fucking see where this is going. I could feel that something was going on between them. So that night when they were both pretty drunk, I invited Amy to my house along with Steve, and they spilled all of their juicy little secrets. It turns out that Amy and Steve had been sleeping with each other for 2 years. This started before we got married and when me and Steve were engaged. And mind you, Amy was also married the whole time. I guess that he couldn't keep it in his pants. Oh, okay. Well, this is awkward. This is diabolical. This has Amy's married to Dave. Steve's married to you. Steve's sleeping with Amy. Everyone's intertwining their relationships. Horrific. I was absolutely horrified and completely disgusted. Fair. The next day, I kicked Steve out of the house and he tried to explain it, but I wouldn't hear it. I almost immediately filed for divorce, and before Amy and Steve could spread their little lies, I told everyone in both families about what they had been up to. Not even Steve's parents knew, and they were quick to support me. Good. I love when people are on the right side. It's clarking to them that they're standing on business. Steve tried to apologise, but he was harassing me so much, I filed for a restraining order because he would also wait outside my house for me to finish. He would also wait outside for me after I finished work, which was very stalkerish. This is where I turned the tables. Uno reverso. Steve's brother, who we will call Paul, was also the hotter brother. Let's get it on. Paul. I kind of always had a little thing for him when I was dating Steve, you saucy little minx. Oh, there's nothing worse. I've never experienced this. I imagine there's nothing worse than meeting the family and going, fuck, got the wrong brother. It's like the Jonas Brothers. Imagine you've got Joe, Nick, and then you'll end up with Kevin. That sucks. Big love, Kevin, sorry. I'd never made a move or anything until I had never made a move until then. Unlike Steve, I actually waited for us to be separated. We started things off slow. Then it got quite serious. Paul was very into me and I was also very into him. Steve was mad and he would send loads of messages to mine and Paul's phones, even though we had blocked the number. He would just try and use a different number every time. This restraining order's not going very well, is it? He would say how I betrayed him and the fact I'm a whore. Girl, you ain't no whore. He's a whore. Your mum's a whore. Actually, no, the mum's on your side. Bertha, you are not a whore, okay? He would call me a slut and some other things in front of family. Me and Paul just ignored him, and then him and Amy broke up. Oh, shocker. Steve ended up cheating on Amy too. I haven't talked to Amy at all since I found out, and neither does most of my family anymore. Only my parents. 1 month ago, I found out that I was pregnant with Paul's baby, and he was absolutely over the moon about it and said he would always be there for me, and he has been. I revealed it at a family gathering, which Steve and Amy weren't invited to. I received many congratulations from family and friends, posted it on their Instagram. That's how Steve and Amy found out, and to be honest, I kind of wanted Steve to find out so he could see what he missed out on. Over the last 2 weeks, Steve has tried to get in contact with me and Paul, but I don't want to talk. Girl, I think you need to reinstate this restraining order because I'm worried. I'm worried for you and Paul, Daddy Paul. I think we need to get the authorities involved. I'm pretty sure you could get him arrested for breaking the restraining order, sis. Like, yeah, let's take the motherfucker down. Let's get the authorities involved. Because him repeatedly changing his number is showing intent on getting in touch with you. And now there's the element of this child involved. I'm worried for the child's safety. These people, this is how it starts. And I'm worried for your safety. I think you need to go back to the authorities and say he's breaking this restraining order. What is the terms? What happens if one breaks a restraining order? I think we have Googled this before. What happens if someone breaks a restraining order? Breaking a restraining order in the UK is a criminal offence, potentially leading to arrest, prosecution, and imprisonment. The severity of the punishment depends on the nature of the breach, but can include a person to be sentenced to up to 5 years or an unlimited fine. I'm saying let's get the police involved, hon. Personally, I think that'd be a cracking idea. Brilliant news. Please let me know what you do in that situation, because I think it's all fun and games, and I know you're probably in your nice little baby bubble at the minute, but please take that seriously. Him changing his numbers, not only can Paul get a restraining order as well, do you both have one in place? Please do that. Get a Ring doorbell. Take your safety seriously here. Yeah, not ideal, that one. It also shows a blatant disregard for the law. He thinks he's above the law, which he is not. He is not, unfortunately. I don't know what your status is with Paul at this moment in time, but I hope he feels like he can protect you and you're protected and you're safe and you're well. Can you have a word with with Steve's parents to tell him to pack it the fuck in? Can Paul have a word with his parents? Because I'm sure grandparents, this is going to be the first. I can't get over Steve saying that he wants to see you plump. Plump? So I'm growing a child. I'm not plump. I'm a fucking miracle worker. Put some respect on my name. It's very odd, the term. It's very perverted. Odd. Really strange. Please get in touch with the authorities. Or Joe will have to have words with you. Won't ya? Anyway, congratulations on your pregnancy. I hope you have a very happy, healthy one. If you do want any baby names, I can recommend Steve and Amy. Maybe not the best time. Tati's a brilliant name. Tatiana. Yeah. Oh, you could call it Godfrey. Or Joseph. After your friends here at Tea and Two Sugars. Let me know. I'd love to hear more about your pregnancy. I'd love to get pictures of baby Stevie. Stevie for a girl is fucking adorable and you can't convince me otherwise. Yeah, I'm very invested in this pregnancy and this story now. Please do keep me updated. Love you. Bye. Okay, this story is titled The Barbecue Bombshell. It's like the fire pit at the Love Island villa. A new bombshell has entered the villa. So I don't know how to keep a straight face or how I didn't immediately fall to the deck in this moment. So I'm 23 and I've been casually dating this guy called Steve for about 2 months. We met on Hinge. He is super sexy. He was older, about 30, 35, very charming, the most gorgeous, well-dressed person, and he drove a stupidly expensive car. I genuinely thought he might have been a finance bro or something like that. I never pried too much because the mystery only made him hotter. He said he worked with a lot of people in tech and logistics. Now, my dad has recently just started a new job. It was a big promotion. He was working for a major supply chain company. Honestly, I don't really know what that means. It's all very boring to me. He's been raving about his new boss for weeks, saying that he's a really nice guy, self-made, very impressive. And he had invited our whole family to this big summer barbecue at his house to celebrate the quarter. Wow. So I show up to the barbecue in my little sundress. I have cute sunnies on, I'm sipping rosé, and I'm talking to my cousin. That is when I hear a voice behind me say, "Didn't expect to see you here." I turned round and it was Steve. Not just any Steve, my Steve. He's holding a glass of whiskey and he looks incredible in his linen suit. That is when it hits me. This isn't just his party. This is his house. And then realised that Steve was in fact my dad's boss. I blinked at least 5 times and said, I thought you worked in tech. He just laughed at me and said, technically I do. I own the logistics software company. My dad appears 2 minutes later, beams, claps him on the back and goes, Steve, so glad you finally met my daughter. Finally met. I'd literally met him in bed 3 days ago. Ooh. Steve plays it super cool. He's like, yeah, we just bumped into each other earlier. Meanwhile, I'm gripping onto my champagne. My dad drags me off to introduce me to the finance director or someone, and I'm texting Steve under the table like, we need to talk. This man has the audacity to reply and say, really? You don't still want to go out tonight then? With a little angel emoji. This is out of a book. This is, wow, I love this. It was all too much for me, so I faked a headache and left. I told my dad that I was overheating and I'd got a heat stroke. Whew. I feel that heat stroke is the literal worst. Me and Steve haven't spoken since. I don't know if I should tell my dad. I don't know if Steve will have told him. I don't even know if I'm mad, mortified, or kind of flattered. All I know is I spent 2 weeks sleeping with my dad's boss. Oh, God. So, is anyone hiring for a new job abroad so my dad cannot figure this out? Oh, God. That's so sexy. I love that. That's such a summer romance. I love this. Hey, here's the thing. How old are you? 23? Joe, sit up straight. I know it's shocking. Carry it on. Oh, I quite like it. And maybe it'll progress your dad in the company. You know? Like, oh, I'm just going to go see my boyfriend. Hey, Dad. I guess you can't do filthy things in the office. Sorry, I'm just going to the boardroom with Steve. Swipes all the stuff off the table. Goes in his office, in Steve's work office. Blinds down. Aircon up. I can't do that. That 6 months probation meeting would be really fucking awkward knowing that your daughter had been shagging on the desk. It's tough out there, my dudes. I think carry it on. Psst. You can now maybe open it up like, oh, we met at the party, we hooked, we found each other on Hinge, we were just chatting. Steve, he was saying how good you're doing at work, Dad. And he's going to take me out. And I'm thinking that could be a good idea. Listen, if he owns the company, how much contact is your dad having with him? Maybe we can make this a family business. You can have children. You can pass it down. I think this actually works really good for everyone involved. The only thing is the age gap, I guess. Like, what does a 35-year-old man have in common with a 23-year-old? If anyone can fill me in on that, please do let me know, because I'm sure there are many things. I really like this. I think it's so sexy. Sexy Stephen in the office. What do you mean you own a tech logistics company, Steve? Such a successful man in your expensive car. Love this. Joe once had a little thing going on with an expensive other cup. Nice bit of china. But he had to cut it off because they got a bit too obsessed with him. And, it got a bit weird. Joe's a great guy. He can get anyone he wants. So he's keeping his options open. Anyway, keep me updated on what you do there. I'd love to see the wedding pictures when you eventually get married. I feel like that's going to be the royal wedding of the century. Yeah. Keep me updated. Maybe we'll have more summer barbecues to come. Let's move on to the next story. Okay, here we go. This one is titled, Are We Still in Love or Is He Just Easy and Familiar? Story time. This one could get deep, guys. Buckle in. Hi, Tatty. I don't really know where to start with this, but I feel like me and my Steve are completely drifting. Maybe it wasn't a moment. Maybe it was a slow, quiet kind of drift. The kind where you don't notice the shore disappearing until the waves are at your doorstep. Okay, now this is taking a right deep dive since the last one, hasn't it? Let's get deep with this, my dudes. So, me and Steve met when we were 12. We got together when we were 16. Our first kiss was outside the youth centre. We were everything to each other. Our first heartbreak, our first makeup, it was all in the same week. We used to dream so big together. Talk about getting a flat in the city, maybe a dog, him making music and me running my own business, both of us waking up next to the person we couldn't live without. For a while, it felt like we were building to that, working towards it daily. But now I look at him and I see someone who comes home from work, grunts at me, puts his headphones on, cooks dinner, and then eats in silence. What has happened here? What has happened here? Oh, you cook dinner and he eats in silence. I try to talk to him. He nods, but his eyes are somewhere else. I don't even know what to think, and I don't know that he's being cruel. I think he's just tired, or he's used to me. The worst part of all of this, he hasn't even changed in any big, obvious way. He still kisses me goodbye in the morning. He still remembers my tea the way I like it. The bar is so low, girls. The bar is so low. It feels like we're going through the motions here. Nothing is changing and nothing's happening. I keep asking myself, am I holding on to him, or am I holding on to the version of us that we used to be? I really miss him, even though we live together. It's not just him, but I miss the us that used to laugh until we cried at 3 a.m. We'd write notes to each other in our college classes, and we made our food shops our dates. I want to fight for this, I really do, but I don't know if he's already just let go quietly and is just waiting for me to notice. Honestly, I'm really, really scared. I don't know what my life looks like without him. I've loved him for over half of my life. So you've been together since you were 12, so you'll be like late 20s now maybe. I've loved him for over half my life. What do you do when the person stops feeling like home? Is this love, or is it just comfort? Is it hope, or is it fear? And how do you know when it's time to walk away from someone you always thought you'd grow old with? Right now, I'm standing still, holding his hand, but it feels like I'm the only one squeezing back. My God, this is heartbreaking, my girl. I want to give you the biggest hug. The biggest hug, bless you. Okay, so let's dissect this. You met when you were children, whirlwind. I think the thing to remember here is we as women, we mature very quickly. I'd say we become like women early-ish 20s. Like we start to think about life in a completely different way about that time. We realise what we want from our men, in like a man in our life. We want to be cared for, we want to be looked after, and that doesn't mean like, I don't know the best way to, like, some women want to be provided for financially, or some women want to be cared for in a way that their boyfriend will fill their tyres up for them without asking, or will open a door for them. Some women want to be a stay-at-home mum or stay-at-home partner, and that's how they're provided for. They're given allowance. It looks completely different for different people. I think what happens is that it takes boys a little bit longer to get to that point, and we can sometimes feel like we're being left behind, or we're far ahead and the boys are still back here. I would implore you and encourage you to really talk to him about this. I don't know if you've had this conversation with him yet. If you haven't, that is definitely your first point of call. Just saying, hey, Steve, like, I'm feeling a little bit neglected here. Like, I appreciate you make me my tea in the morning, or you know, you'll do this, that, and the other. However, I want to hear about your day. And like, you don't seem to want to hear about my day and what's been going on for me. And that feels like there's a lack of communication and support within the relationship. Is that something you could work on? That is what I would first and foremost do. You feel like you've lost the spark and the fun in the relationship, And that's because he's not even reciprocating with you. Is his job really taxing? Is it really difficult for him to talk about what's gone on in his day? Like, what does he do for work that is so difficult for him to have a conversation with you at the end of the day? Is it that he is genuinely just really struggling with work? He's run off his feet. He's so busy. He's so frustrated that when he comes home, he just wants to sit in silence and decompress. Or does he actually not want to speak to you? They're two very different sides of the coin there. And I think once you identify which one it is, you can move forward. It's really difficult for you to go from that point of it being like a childhood, teenage relationship to an adult relationship. You clearly are doing the adult things by living with each other and cooking and doing your grocery shops and whatnot. However, you're not having those adult conversations that come along with it. How was your day? What's happening for you in life? Where are you at? How are you feeling? How's your mental health been recently? What's happened in the office today? You know, you're not having those check-in conversations, those deep-rooted care for each other conversations. Let me see what else you've highlighted in this. You're just missing the fun and the giggles. You know what, one thing I find really helpful in these situations is to, I don't know what your financial situation is, but to go on holiday for like a week, 2 weeks. If you can go away for 2 weeks, 10/10 recommend, because for Jordan and I, we're so busy all the time and we're both in our own work and we're both working on I'm self-employed. Jordan has his own things going on. He has a full-time job. Like, you don't actually you don't actually have fun together that often. And you have to make time to have fun with each other. Set aside time to be a couple, not two people living life. Does that make any sense? Like, you need to have that time to fully relax, get all of the shit out the way so you can giggle together and laugh and hold hands and like have nice kisses, nice cuddles, like be caring towards each other and affectionate and intimate with each other. And those like magical moments, like you say, like laughing and, you know, things like that. That is what I would encourage. There's so many different things to unpack here. It's really, really difficult. And I imagine obviously I've not been in a long-term relationship from an older age. This is all you have ever known since you were 16, since you were 12. Like, you have not been in a relationship with anyone else. You are navigating this with each other. And sometimes communication styles are going to change. You would make these mistakes maybe as you're dating someone, but you're not able to make these mistakes or learn these lessons outside of the relationship, the be-all, end-all relationship. You're learning together, and that has to come with a certain level of patience and grace and respect to each other. And it's really difficult, really, really difficult. Sometimes it might take him, I was literally just talking to a friend about this earlier. Sometimes it takes someone to be scared to realize what the situation actually is. And I know that can sometimes it can sound a little bit manipulative. However, sometimes as someone that has been in the position where they've been like, right, come on, Tat, buck up now. Like, I'm being neglected in this relationship. It's so easy to change, and because I wanted to. If he really wanted to, he would. And I know that really annoys some people sometimes, but if he really wants to work for you and this relationship, he will take the time to listen to your woes and to change and put the work in and make you feel special. One thing I would say, and this is a thing I would say to anyone that is maybe feeling like this relationship isn't the best, some advice, but I've seen work really good for people. Set a timer in that if you're feeling like this way, you're living together, say you're renting, next when your lease runs out, December time. If you're still feeling like this then, and you've spoke to him and he's not rectified the issues, call it quits. It's not fair on you to be in a relationship where you're being unvalued, underappreciated. You know, you deserve to feel loved and to feel special and to feel like a girl. Like, you want him to make you feel safe and like, this is maybe not the best idea, but I like feeling small. Like, I like feeling like there's a man in my life that's like, can pick me up when I'm down and can give me love and can like wrap me in his arms. And I just worry that you're not getting your emotional needs met in this situation. You're feeling unstable in the relationship, and that's not how you should feel. He should be so excited to come home to you, and he's just like, oh, that's not right. It's not right at all. Is it love or is it just comfort? Listen, for you, it might be love. For him, it might be comfort. That's just speaking really brutally. How do you know it's time to walk away? This is what I'm saying. Set your timer. Right now, I'm still standing here holding his hand, but it feels like I'm the only one squeezing it. There you go. You're feeling neglected. You're feeling that you're putting everything into this relationship and you're not getting anything back. Don't stay in that relationship if you're not feeling it, you know? And that's some proper big sis advice. You're saying, hey, you miss him, but you live together. Something might be going on with him that is causing him to be distant. And listen, some people do just change. There might not be anything going on with him. He might just have changed, you know? And that's fine. We can't control people like that. The fact that he puts his headphones on at home is disgusting. That's so fucking rude. You don't deserve that at all. At all. I think you need to set some quality time together to really work on your relationship. I've known people to booked 2 weeks off work to really put that time into work with each other and to just bring each other back down to earth. I hope that helps in some way and that you're able to move forward from it. Oh, baby girl. Sending you all the love and hugs. It's really tough, especially from someone that's been in the childhood relationship that's transitioned into the adult relationship. It is tough. And it's a process that I actually feel like everyone has to go through that is in that type of relationship. But again, trust in the process. Trust him. If he wants to, he will. Because that's what you deserve. Love you. And that is the end of today's episode, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you do have a story to send me, head to our socials. There is a link in the top of the bio. Tap the link that says send a story. Type it all out. Give me all of the details. I love to hear the details. You can attach pics. Some people send screenshots. It's so interesting to see the evidence. I love to see it. And I will see you next week. That's it. Bye.
Please fill my cup. Am I really asking for much? It's been a long week, I'm looking for fun. Please fill my cup. Find me under the sun. SOS, I'm just looking for a good time. Oh, 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 oh. And I'm singing like, whoa.